Hello and welcome to Manic Movies, a series where we talk about the Madison movies. I'm Ryanimaniac, and welcome back to the little mini-series of this particular movie review series, which I call Road to Endgame, which we're going to be taking a look at all the films of the Marvel Cinematic Universe leading up to Avengers Endgame. And this week we're going to be taking a look at Thor from 2011. Okay, so the story of this one starts out with a group of scientists out in the deserts of New Mexico investigating a strange disturbance. And during the strange disturbance, in particular, they happen to get into a bit of a hit and run with a random stranger. And through a flashback, which lasts roughly around 30 minutes, it explains that that stranger was Thor, son of Odin, from Asgard. You know, that guy with the big hammer stuff. It's revealed that, you know, he was being crowned king, and there was an incident with these creatures called the Frost Giants getting into Asgard, so Thor goes, you know, gets in a fight with them, which ends up starting a war with the Frost Giants in Asgard, and so Odin, his father, pretty much deems him unworthy of being king of Asgard, and strips him of his powers, and pretty much banishes him to Earth. And so he's there, stuck on Earth, now having to learn how to be humble and, you know, not to think things through and not rush into battle like he is, you know, to learn what it means to be a hero, essentially, I guess. All the while, there's a fiendish plot with his brother Loki trying to take command of the throne for himself and also eliminate the Frost Giants to possibly impress his father. It's a little confusing. Okay, so like Incredible Hulk, this is a not very eventful film for the most part. Like, it is a whole lot, again, a lot of talking and just interacting with the characters and such, but, and, you know, is more or less just being an introduction to Thor, you know, so he has his introduction when Avengers comes around. But unlike Incredible Hulk, though, I actually do like this one a bit more, because unlike Incredible Hulk, there's more charisma from the main character Thor and all the other characters in the film. Like, Chris Hemsworth nails the performance of Thor. He's this whole big prideful hero. You know, I can take on the enemies, I can protect the kingdom, but also being so knuckleheaded that he doesn't realize he's also putting people into danger as well. And, you know, he does a good job of which, you know, when they're introducing him to Earth customs, and he's, you know, it's a fish out of water sort of story, you know, trying to get used to how things work on Earth, and, you know, like, he says, I like coffee, another! And they're like, no, you can't be throwing things down, but unlike most of the fish out of water stories, you know, he's not just be like, no, that's stupid, you should change your ways to mine. He's like, oh, okay, now I get it. You know, he gives a really good performance. Tom Hiddleston as Loki also gives a really good performance. I mean, again, despite the fact that the character's exact motivations in the film are a little all over the place, very odd, and he gives a very good performance as just being this person who honestly feels like an outcast and being constantly in the shadow of his brother Thor. Anthony Hopkins as Odin gives a good performance as a wise leader and father. Natalie Portman, I guess, is okay. I mean, I've heard a lot of people hate her in this movie. I don't find her all that annoying. I mean, I do find it a little distracting that she just meets this guy and just all of a sudden just falls in love with him for, like, little to no reason. Like I said, though, Incredible Hulk, whereas it is, again, where this is like Hulk, in which it's just clearly just setting up Thor, you know, introducing him so that for Avengers, unlike that, it's also introducing the elements of the different realms and, you know, Asgard and all the different kinds of realms and creatures and such. And it's expanding the universe and not just being stuck on Earth, you know. It's also breaching out into the other worlds and realms, and, like, introducing the Bifrost and such. And I gotta say, Asgard looks pretty good. every time you get there. But every time it's on Earth, it does feel a little slow, I will admit. Because, you know, it's just kind of like New Mexico desert for most of the time. When it's an asteroid, oh, it's quite a sight. All the designs of the costumes are pretty good. Only real complaint I have about Thor's design in particular. I mean, I like the fact that this is the one time we get to see him in the true, like, the original comic book version. Like, almost every hero's gotten one instance in which they look exactly like their comic book counterpart. So I like this is like the one time where he had the sleeves and the helmet and such that looked comic accurate. Only thing I really don't like about his design is that his hair is too pretty, if you know what I mean. Just like too nice and conditioned and washed. It doesn't look like the hair of a warrior, so I'm glad that in other films they made it look a little dirtier and messy, that sort of thing. Because that was the one thing that always bugged me in this film, that his hair was just too good looking for him to be a warrior. But other than that, all the designs are pretty good and fun. Stan Lee's cameo in this is he's one of the many civilians who try to remove Mjolnir from the crater when Thor's cast out and Mjolnir is stuck in a crater until Thor can prove himself. His cameo is one of the civilians trying to get it. He drives a truck, and then the truck eventually breaks, and Stan Lee's at the window and goes, "Did I get it?" But yeah, overall, this was a pretty decent watch. I liked it more than Incredible Hulk, but I do say it's still not quite up to the level that Iron Man was, in which it was, you know, big and eventful. It was mostly just a setup. But again, I did like it more. It has, I want to say, as of right now, I remember this movie being a lot worse, but it's decent enough. Yeah, it is that cool Norse mythology sort of thing. If you're into that, you're gonna love this movie, I guess. I don't know. But personally, I enjoyed it. It was a definite watch for me. Especially leading up to the events of Endgame, in which you're gonna see how Thor has matured through all the movies. Because I'm surprised to see how sort of spoiled Thor was at the beginning of this movie, and looking where he was in Infinity War. It's kind of shocking overall. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, you can feel free to hit that like button, and you can comment and give a suggestion of a movie I should take a look at, because you guys might have a movie I want to look at, and I might have something to say about it. I don't know. Just leave it in the comments and we'll see where it goes. Also, if you want, you can subscribe, I guess, to see what other videos I want. You know, it's a new year. Hopefully there's more content than there was at the last year. So far the YouTube game isn't quite as bad as it was at the beginning of the year, like because of a certain somebody. But yeah, overall I'm hoping to, you know, branch out and, you know, do more videos like this, because, you know, work and school have constantly just been keeping me preoccupied. Hopefully I will be able to, throughout this year, bring out new kinds of content, because the past couple months I've been stemming over a couple ideas. Hopefully they'll become something. I don't know. But anyways, with all that being said, stay sane in the insane world, and I will see you little loonies